Chad Moyer with you on the Rural Radio Network. Let's take a look at the midday market trade, specifically over in livestock. And joining me, it's livestock market analyst Kyle Bumsted. Kyle, we've seen these cattle futures go back and forth quite a bit through the day already. Is the market nervous? What's going on here today?
Well, that's right, Chad. You definitely want to make sure you got your seatbelt on and your seat backs forward and your tray tables locked up, because, boy, this thing has just been on a roller coaster, and it's been quite a wild ride here. We started off here with an open price high here in the August live cattle at 218 and a quarter, dropped on down to 216 there, an area of major support. Held that so far, and we're back higher on the day at 218.45. Our high's been 218.82. Would like to see us close above that 219, and then it's going to put that 220.05 back in the running there, if not high we had the other day. That's a big number there that definitely needs to get punched through if this market's going to keep going. And I don't see as at any point now why it shouldn't keep going, is we've traded 235 in Kansas, 235 in Texas on a sizable amount of cattle there yesterday. The USDA reported a little over 400 head, but here tell is well over 1,000 head of cattle traded at 235 in Texas yesterday. There's also been a lot of folks passing on 235 bids here in Kansas. We've seen some 235 to 240 actually trade in Kansas on the Fed Cattle Exchange sale. So don't know the quality of the cattle, just know what they brought. But definitely a market here that folks are watching on pins and needles and walking on eggshells. Now, on the feeder cattle side of things here, the index is going to be up here another about 55 to 60 cents here in the Merck updates later today. Still a question on a sale or two. We did see the August feeder set an open price high as well at 312.92. They dropped on down to 308.92, and they're still holding that open price high at 312.92. We're sitting at 311.40, down $1.75. Some of these deferred spreads, or these crush spreads, are kind of getting back in line. As we saw last week, the feeders lead the way, and the fats are kind of dragging. Now the fats are kind of leading the way, and the feeders are dragging. So they're getting some of those crush spreads kind of back in line.
All right. Thank you so much. Again, livestock market analyst Kyle Bumsted. This is the Rural Radio Network.
In Nebraska, we take care of one another, but proposed cuts in the House reconciliation bill would have a dire impact on hard-working Nebraska communities. The bill would shift part of the federal responsibility for SNAP to the states, which are already facing strapped budgets. This would cost Nebraska roughly $49 million. These changes would hurt local grocery stores and growers and affect our most vulnerable populations. We urge you to contact Senator Fisher today to oppose these cuts and stand with Nebraskans. Paid for by food banks in Nebraska.
The biggest weekend in Nebraska High School Rodeo is here. The Nebraska High School Finals Rodeo comes to Valentine, June 12th through the 14th, and we're bringing you exclusive coverage you won't find anywhere else. Step inside the Champions Circle, sponsored by Ravenscroft Red Angus, where we'll sit down with every state champion to hear their winning stories and what it took to get there. Get a formal introduction to every state champion crowned this weekend at ruralradionetwork.com, your home for Nebraska Rodeo.
This is the market update. I'm Bruce Gorder on the Rural Radio Network. Well, after a two-day beatdown, all three wheat markets were trending higher early today. Recently, however, both Chicago and Kansas City and now Minneapolis wheat have turned mostly lower. Pressuring wheat was Monday's gain in the condition ratings for both spring and winter wheats, in addition to much-needed rain falling in both the dry Black Sea wheat areas and in the North China Plains. Forecast for later is mostly dry until Friday, when rains once again set in. There's also a slightly wetter forecast for Black Sea wheat areas ahead. In the U.S., the winter wheat harvest is in the early stages, but a clear radar on Wednesday, and the forecast for the next 10 to 14 days suggests dryness in the western plains and an accelerated harvest activity. July corn is now up a penny at 4.39 3/4. December unchanged at 4.40. July soybeans 2 3/4 lower at 10.54 3/4. November down a penny at 10.30 1/4. July Chicago wheat down 3/4 at 5.33 3/4. July Kansas City down 3/4 at 5.26 1/2. July Minneapolis up 1/4 at 6.13 1/2. August live cattle up 5 cents at 218.25. October down 47 at 215.17. August feeder cattle down 207 at 311.07. September down $1.55 at 311.20. July lean hogs are up 60 cents at 108.80. August up 7 cents at 109.87. Class 3 milk for July is 36 cents lower at 18.16. The August contract for